Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live on this Tuesday evening, ready to do another edition of Across the Board where we're going to talk about Damon Williams and the Huskies quarterback drama that's going on out there in Washington. Also, fan bases have been going ham about their teams in the portal because they haven't been getting the players that they want in a timely fashion. So fans have been panicking like crazy. Also, LeBron James and the rumor that the NBA might think about the possibility of retiring the jersey number 23 for the entire league and more. I got my man SEC Sean in the house with me tonight. How you feeling, SEC Sean?
Oh man, we're plugging away at it anyway. Got this going. Got a little keeping up with my Aggies playing Tennessee tonight in the SEC basketball. I sent you some videos today. We did some testing today in the NASCAR world at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's been a pretty entertaining day around here.
Yeah, for sure. For those of them out there listening, can you sort of give them a glimpse of what does 750 whatever it's called horsepower in a car would sound like?
It's hard to explain how it would sound. Some of the older generation will kind of remember back in the 70s when you had all the American muscle cars and they would crank up and you would hear them, but now multiply that by about 10. For anybody watching that wants to know, go to my channel, SEC Sean on YouTube. I've posted a link to a video of, I think it's Joey Logano doing one lap today at North Wilkesboro with the new 750 horsepower. I don't even think he's fully up to speed in that video. I think he's probably just out. But you can hear the power, and it's exhilarating to me. I love it. But yeah, I posted it on there, and there's a bunch of videos on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Who knows? There's a bunch of videos been posted today from a few different members of the NASCAR media, Bob Pockrish, Jeff Gluck, of just different cars and different videos and different sounds. And you just go to my channel and click the link. You'll be like, wow, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I bet it is. Let's also welcome in our man Post Game of the Post Game 86 podcast to the show. How you feeling post game?
Feel marvelous. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
Rolling.
Oh, well, I'm doing well. Well, let's go ahead and get into some of these questions that we got in the chat because I want to get y'all's opinion on some of this stuff, because some of it is kind of mind-blowing to me that is happening in the world of sports, or this possibly could happen in the world of sports. But what's your thoughts on LeBron James, or what's your opinion of the possibility that they could retire the number 23 throughout the entire NBA league when LeBron James retires? What's your thoughts on that?
No. If that 23 was going to be retired, it needed to be retired when Mike left. Sorry. It's just how I feel about it. Mike is my GOAT. That's going to annoy a lot of people, I know. But they didn't get rid of the 32 or whatever from not the 32, but the 24 or the 8 from Kobe. You know, Those numbers being retired across the entire sport need to be reserved for special instances. Jackie Robinson, first black player in baseball. Nobody wears number 42 again. The last player that was ever allowed to wear it was Mariano Rivera. Those kind of numbers should be done. They didn't retire Kareem's number when he retired after he had the scoring title. So I mean, no, not across the whole sport. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, 100% not going to happen. No disrespect to LeBron James, who's had a fabulous career, but the original 23, that would be Mr. Michael Jordan. Uh, if they didn't retire 23 from Michael Jordan, they're not going to retire 23 from LeBron James. He hasn't had the impact or the championships that Michael Jordan has had up to this point. So, he's still 4-6 in the finals. So I would think if they were going to retire 23, they would have retired the guy who played for the Chicago Bulls and Washington Wizards.
And not just that, real quick, Rob, to add on to postgame, because I know you got something to say on, but to add on to what postgame said, why does LeBron wear 23? Why did a bunch of them cats coming up wear 23? So,
Man, my whole thing is this. Why is somebody even thinking about that? Why is that even in the news? Why is that even going across anybody's feed, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on TikTok? That should not even be a freaking discussion. Because we all know, like my man SEC Sean just said, there would not even be a LeBron 23 if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, Mr. MJ. Now, I'm one who says that LeBron James is the GOAT, but he is not worthy to have the number 23 retired when he's not even the author of the 23. They are tripping if they do that, which we know they're not going to do that because Michael Jordan would have had it done. They would have done it for Michael Jordan if they were going to do it for anybody. And we have way too many great basketball players out there whose numbers would have already been retired like that had they decided they was going to retire anybody's number. So there's no way in heck they're going to do anything like that. So they can go ahead and scratch that noise. When he retired, give him a rocking chair or two and let him go about his business.
here's a question for you. Who would you consider the greatest baseball player of all time? Babe Ruth? Henry Aaron?
One of those two.
Okay. Their number's not retired across all of baseball. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's just silly. I really do think it's silly. I think it's real silly that they would even think about retiring at number 23 when LeBron retires. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. If you were LeBron, though, would you be for it or against it?
I'm gonna say, man, if I were LeBron, I would be against it. But knowing LeBron James and how big of a narcissist he is, he's gonna be for that for sure.
I think LeBron would be for it for the exact reason postgame mentioned. However, I don't think he'll be the one pushing for it. because he doesn't want that negative attention on him for then everybody's really going to start you're not even the best 23. I don't think he wants that kind of stuff. But I think in the back of his mind, he's like, if they tell me they're going to do it, I'm not going to be against it if I don't push for it. So,
yeah, I can see it both ways that you both have said it. But this will be a golden opportunity for LeBron James to say, listen, y'all tripping. Do not retire no number 23 jersey because I'm retiring. There's a man who wore that number before me and is the reason why I even wear 23. Quit tripping. Don't do that. And that will be a golden opportunity for him to make a real nice statement if they were even really seriously considering retiring that jersey upon his retirement. He would have a golden opportunity to shut that thing down, and I hope that he does if they're serious about that.
you mentioned how does something like this even really get started? The same reason that if we go on any one of our podcasts and say something like LeBron's not even a Hall of Famer in my mind, it's going to get clicks. That's why.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They got us talking about it.
They sure do. They sure do. Because when I seen it, I was like, wow, are they serious? They can't possibly be serious, right? Do you think that there are any players who deserves his or her number retired across the sport they played?
Yeah, I'm gonna say in the NBA, I personally think that Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and Kobe Bryant, maybe Magic and Bird also. Those players should have. Man, it's so many players that you can name that I believe uh, deserve to have their numbers retired. But I mean, across all sports, you think of baseball, you think of hockey, basketball, football, all those sports have players that deserve to have their numbers retired. It's too many players to name. There's definitely, if you put in years of work, if you dominated for an era, you set records, you won championships, you can't tell the story of that era without mentioning your name. You deserve your jersey retired. That's for sure. It's a lot of players we can name off.
I mean, you could go through and we could probably put together a list and debate each person's list and say reasons why they should and why they shouldn't. I mean, take hockey, for example. Now, when you say hockey, who's the first player that comes to mind?
Mine is Wayne Gretzky.
That's it. Gretzky. Everybody's right there. That number's not retired across a hockey, and he did more for hockey. He did for hockey what Jordan did for basketball. Brought it to the forefront. And hockey's not at the forefront, but it's a lot better than what it was before Gretzky. But in every sport you could come across with something and put a list together. Even in my sport of NASCAR, when Dale Earnhardt died in 2001 during the Daytona 500, they retired that number for a few years, but now it's back. It wasn't retired forever. They just didn't use it again for a while. So, I don't know. I mean, you could come up with a list for every sport. So I think Jackie Robinson is the only one who really should. And that took till 1997 to get that put in place. So that was a long time after the whole color barrier was broken, that became a staple. So I don't know. I just think we're too far in a society to worry about numbers anymore. What numbers need to be retired and never worn again. I think we're past all that. I just how I am.
Yeah, I don't. I know that there's a lot of players who have been great, and their numbers should be retired at the team that they play for, but across their whole entire sport, I don't think so. And you made a really, really good point about Jackie Robinson's being retired because of the social significance that it had. So I can get that. I can even see Dale Earnhardt's number being retired too because of how great he was for the sport and how things happened with his whole situation. I could definitely see that. That was a really, really good one. I'm glad you brought that one up. But outside of that, I don't think so, man. I don't think there's any other that should be retired across their whole entire sport. Now, I would make the case for Cheryl Miller only because she never got a chance to actually play in a professional women's league. So I could see possibly her maybe, but outside of that, I think the one that we got with Jackie Robinson is probably significant enough because of the terms and the situation behind it. That's the only one I can really think of outside of Jackie Robinson would be maybe Cheryl Miller, just to give her a tribute because she never got a chance to play actual professional women's basketball. Yeah. How do you feel about the Demond Williams situation with the Washington Huskies? How impactful can that be on his relationship with his teammates and everybody there at Washington?
I don't think it's going to impact it too much, to be honest. Um, Not 5, 10 years ago. Yeah, this is going to have a big problem. Nowadays, they know somebody, his agent, his representatives, put a bug in his ear that, hey, if you do want to go somewhere else, we can always work to get you out of this contract. You know, but I think somebody else got into his ear and told him, look, man, this is not going to go well. And if you lose the lawsuit, you're going to have blah, blah. So he just dropped it and went back to Washington. And I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, at first I thought, well, first in this question, the only thing I could think about was, man, how's he going to face his teammates in the locker room? You know, how are they going to be side eyeing him, looking at him funny? Things of that nature. But then I thought, I think those kids understand that in today's era of NIL transfer portal, it's a business. It's a business more than ever in college football. So when I start to think about it, I feel like there'd be more understanding. But like SEC Sean said a few years ago, I think that would have been the case. He would have been getting a lot of side eyes. He would have had to prove himself for them to trust him again. So right now, I don't think it matters as much.
Yeah, I was on the fence going back and forth about this whole situation too, but I think the nature of how college football is now, they understand that, man. Listen, if you can go somewhere and get a better bag, go get that bag, man. I don't think they're going to look at him doing that as a player who felt like he was going to go play for a better group of guys. Even though he probably would be going to play with a better group of guys, I don't think they're going to think of him in that manner. But as far as his coach goes, his quarterback coach, Jed Fish, and those guys, it might be a little bit different because here we are negotiating with you and your agent, and we sign you to this nice, lucrative deal to be our quarterback for the 2026 season. And a week later, you're getting courted by someone else and you're jumping in the portal. after we just did what we did to get all of this contract signed with you, it's sort of probably got those coaches thinking, man, what kind of character does this guy really have? We thought he was our man, but maybe he isn't. So I can see that. But I think all in all, they understand it's a business, man. And when money is involved, you're supposed to do whatever's best for you and your family when it comes to them dollars and cents. So I think they'll be forgiving, and I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, especially if he goes out there on that field and balls out. I don't like the situation though. I don't like the fact that he did what he did though. I think that players need to understand that when you make that contract and you sign it and this is where you're going to be, you need to be loyal to that decision that you made. And sometimes you gotta sit down and be patient and take your time before you do a thing, especially since he already knows what he's dealing with at the University of Washington. He should have been he should have made a better decision as it related to that. And if he wanted to go somewhere else where he felt like he played well enough this past season that other people will be courting him, he should have just bought his time and just waited to see what was happening. But once you sign that contract, man, you got to go ahead and live through that. So I didn't like that aspect of it, though. Several fan bases were upset about the slow movement of their teams landing portal players they were after. Were they overreacting?
Go ahead, SEC. You want to take this one?
Yes. Um, fan bases get caught up in the splash. I need Cam Coleman. I need, Sorsby. I need, name the best player in the transfer portal. I like the fact that Mike Elko, my coach at A&M, seems to be going after, he wants, some of the better players. Don't get me wrong. Every fan base and every coach would. But I think he's also looking at it from a CEO perspective of, I can get 4 players for the price of him. And I can get a good receiver, taking Isaiah Horton. I can get a couple of D linemen, and I can get a linebacker for the cost of 1 wide receiver. So I think fan bases get caught up in the splash, so to speak, and not the substance. But I guess that's part of being a fan. You want the best on your team. I think that you have to have faith in your coaches to know that they know what they need to make that team fill the problems that they had the previous year. So,
Yeah, agreed. I don't know whose report. Like, I think the problem is that before the transfer portal opens, there's all this speculation about this player, that player, and this school is going after this player. And sometimes that's just simply not true. Or it could be a team putting out a smoke screen, whatever the case may be. But take Notre Dame, for instance. Everybody thought they were going after Nick Marsh, a couple other guys. Listen, Notre Dame's been money in the portal. Excuse me, getting those receivers from Ohio State, getting that tackle from Pitt, the corner from Colorado, the corner from Michigan. Like, it's crazy what a couple of days, what a difference a couple of days make, because just a few days ago, Notre Dame fans were freaking out. Like, and I understand, I get it, because they've had bad news. They've had to wait on the answer from their head coach about whether if he was staying or not. So, and then you hear these rumors about who Notre Dame is after, and you expect Notre Dame to get those players. Like, come on, are we all in or not? Then they don't get those players. Everybody's disappointed. Now everybody's happy again. So yeah, I think it's a lot of overreactions, not just from Notre Dame's fan base, but from fan bases all across the country. Everybody wants the best players. Everybody wants their portal pool to be rated high. Everybody wants to contend. So I understand it. And yes, it's been a lot of overreaction.
Yeah, I think, especially, because following Texas, you already know their fans were tripping. Their fans were going ham about the fact that all of these guys are jumping in the portal, but then guys who that are rumored, like you said, post game, that you rumored that your team is going after, and they're not really even going after those guys. Because I think all of these coaches understand that although this player is in the portal, not every team is going to be going after that top-notch guy because that top-notch guy does not necessarily fit what they want to do. Everybody's not going to go after that guy. And they already got all the background information on where this guy wants to go, where he's leading to. Does he want to stay in the SEC? Does he want to stay in the Big Ten? Does he want to go to Notre Dame? They know all of that stuff. So as fans, we need to just sit back, stop overreacting, be patient, and understand that this is how the game is played now. And I think we have enough of a sample size to understand that we don't need to overreact. And I'm telling you right now, Texas fans were tripping, bro. I was watching a whole bunch of different Texas live streams, channels, and the fans that would be in those chats would be talking crazy about Steve Sarkisian, their coaching staff, and everybody who has anything to do with the recruitment of these players out of the portal. But I'm thinking to myself, do you think for 1 second that Steve Sarkisian and that staff don't know what they're doing when they've already showed you that they know what they're doing when it comes to getting these players out of the portal or getting recruits out of high school? They know what they're doing. Every football team that we know that has had a good football team, that got good coaches, them people know what they are doing. We as fans just need to chill out and just let everything play out and be patient because in the end, your team is going to get who they need to get. They're going to have the roster that they're looking to have, and they're going to be perfectly fine. And we all know that when these fans was overreacting, now you look at what Texas has done. You look at what Texas A&M has done. You look at what Notre Dame has done. They've all done really, really well and gotten the majority of the players that they wanted to get. So I think fans need to just go ahead and chill out because it's really not that serious. It's not that serious.
Well, I can tell you this. I have a lot of Texas people on my Twitter feed, and they were going ballistic.
They were going ballistic.
Okay. Now it's even worse. I can't shut them up for the other way now. We got the number one portal class. Well, no, you really don't. You have the number one portal class for people coming in, but you have like the 20th ranked with all the people going out. So, right. It's just like, I can find a stat to make anything I want. You can always find a stat to make your point for you. You just may have to do a little bit of digging, but yeah, they've gone ballistic the other way now. I'm just like, whatever, man. Can we just get on with it?
Yeah. Well, SEC Sean, that's the nature of the beast when you're dealing with them Texas Longhorns, bro.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't even been as close to it as you have. I'm all the way up here in Ohio. You actually was down there in the state of Texas, for a long period of time. So you already know what it's like, bro.
Oh yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they can rub me wrong, man, and I'm like,
Every fan
damn,
base can.
yeah, that's a fact. That's a
We
fact.
got some of mine that were ripping on us, and we got some that were ripping on our basketball coach. And I'm like, bro, he put together the basketball team in about 2 weeks, and we're 13-3. What are we complaining about? Look at the coach we used to have. He ain't won a game in the Big Ten yet.
Right. Yeah. What do you tell yourself when your team isn't landing the portal targets right away?
You can roll post.
Yeah, just be patient. Something I had to deal with around here. Man, people were going berserk when they were seeing different players commit to different teams and not even take a visit to Notre Dame. I'm like, what reason has Marcus Freeman given y'all that he's not one hell of a recruiter and that you can't trust him? I don't understand. I never understood it. Man, listen, I can't even recall like in years past, like the transfer portal causing this much ruckus, man. I can't. I mean, fan bases were going crazy. Y'all should have seen these Golden Domers, man. Especially when Nick Marsh went to IU. Oh my goodness! Now everybody fat and full, happy. So I mean, I would just tell everybody to relax, like Aaron Rodgers said, let it play out, and trust that you got one hell of a head coach and a staff that can recruit.
That's what I keep telling the people from A&M. Look, Elko came in. Yes, we went, 8-5 his first year. He hit the portal, made some adjustments, got what he needed, brought him in, went 11-2. Why would you not trust him to know what he needs on his team? Just relax. It's good Lord. Now, if I'm Alabama, I'm probably freaking out a little bit because they're losing everybody. I don't know what is going on down there, but it is, man. You've never seen a kid, even though Texas is a brand, of course, there would never be a kid 3, 4, 5 years ago go to A&M like that running back Smothers and then turn around and flip to Tech. That just did not happen. I don't know what's going on over there, but the brands sell themselves. That's what people don't understand. Notre Dame sells itself. Kids know what Notre Dame is. Kids know what Ohio State is. Kids know what Texas. Some probably know what Texas A&M is. It's starting to get some traction. The big brands, they know what they are. These kids know where they want to go. It's just who's going to make them the best offer. And the fans don't understand that. They want all the best players on their team, and that's just not the nature of college football anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, I totally agree with both of you. You got to relax and just be patient, especially when you already know the track record that your coach has had at the university. So if they have a track record of always making things happen in the right direction, then you should expect them to do that yet again. But I did just get some troubling news that Nick Brooks is going to enter the transfer portal for Texas, which I thought he was going to be an integral part on that offensive line this year. He got a start last year as a true freshman. He's going to enter the portal, which lets me know that like this, Texas fans are going to be going ham about Nick Brooks hitting the transfer portal. But if Nick Brooks is hitting the transfer portal, it's because Texas already got some other linemen lined up to come in and play, and he doesn't want to sit another whole year behind those guys. He ready to get on the field right now. So he figures if I go ahead and hit this portal right now, I'm going to go get on the field this upcoming season where I wasn't going to get on the field at Texas.
What position was he?
He plays tackle. He was the backup left tackle, backup right tackle, but they end up playing him at left guard for those few games. He came in really well against Oklahoma, and then he played that next game, and people took advantage of his youth.
That tells me that as an outsider looking in, that tells me that kid got told to enter the portal. That tells me Texas believes they have the inside track to that kid out of Colorado, that offensive tackle or Stetson or Seaton or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Texas may know they got the inside track for that kid and he's coming, and told him he's going to play in front of you. And that kid said, "Nah, I'm going somewhere else then."
Yeah. And that's the case with, and I'm glad you brought that point up. That's the case with, excuse me, with a lot of these players that you know are hitting the portal from their respective teams. I mean, whoever would have imagined that Trey Wiseman was going to hit the portal after being our top running back for the last 2 years? But when you already know that a team is looking in another direction, because they're going to tell you that they're not going to play you weak and not let you know what's going on behind the scenes. So he had to make that decision. And anytime you see a lot of guys going out, you best believe it's because they got somebody else in the fold that they believe is going to be able to come in and replace you. That's why you're on your way out. Otherwise, you will still be there. So I think fans need to understand that as well.
Why do you think the running back just went into the portal too? Clark,
yeah. That's why Clark went to the portal. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you bring in Smothers and Brown. I mean, where I'm going to fit in this equation?
Right, I'm gone, and I think that's why A&M is not bringing in any running backs yet. I think A&M's waiting until the portal closes, and then they'll sign a running back, so that way nobody else can go into the portal. But real quick on that, since you brought up the kid going in, got some news that our safety's coming back, Bryce Anderson. He's going to go ahead and pull his name and came coming back to A&M. Then I found out that Dalen Evans, who was on the team, one of the DNs last year, got some run. He was a sophomore. I think he went to Mississippi State.
Rob, are you concerned? I've been hearing a lot of players from the Texas team hitting the portal, man. Does that concern you at all?
It does not, because I've watched, you know how closely you follow Notre Dame, and SEC Sean follows Texas A&M. I follow Texas just as closely as you all follow your team, and I'm not, because I understand that the guys who are hitting the portal, they know that Texas was looking to find somebody else to fill that role. That's why they ended up hitting the portal. I mean, we have 5 running backs. 5 running backs hit the portal. 5. That's nuts, right? Only one who stayed from that last year's group is James Simon. He's the only one. And now we brought in 2 guys out of the portal, and then we got 2 running backs coming in from high school. So those guys, they knew that, listen, Texas is looking to go in a different direction, especially the defensive guys who understood that they weren't going to fit the role that they needed that Will Muschamp needed them to fill. So they had to get up out of there, man, and go find them a home quick, fast, and in a hurry. And a lot of those guys have found them a home already. So I wasn't concerned at all, because we knew going in, once the portal opened, that there was going to be 20 to 25 guys that were going to hit the portal from Texas for sure.
Got you. Did Anthony Hill enter the draft, or is he coming back?
He entered the draft, yeah.
Got you. I got this being the last year is gonna be like this, man. I just do. They're gonna do something about this portal, man. Like it's way too much movement. Like how is the days of developing players, getting players in your program, letting them develop and become a better player and the player that they're going to be are over unless they do something. They need to do something now. Like, this is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, post game, I think a lot of coaches around the country are saying the same sentiment that you're saying right now. and they are all, I'm quite sure they're all in each other's ear saying, listen, we have to find a way to get this thing rectified and fixed because we got way too many guys going into the portal who we know, and we've been watching this for 2 or 3 years now, that are not going to find a home, which means school is going to start up and you don't even have a school to go to that's going to give you a scholarship. You're going to have to pay yourself. There's way too many young people jumping in the portal that don't have a destination. And this is why Steve Sarkisian is saying, listen, we have to get these daggone agents and representatives certified because they got players jumping in the portal who don't even know where they're going to land, don't even know if anybody has real interest in them. And we're going to probably have about 2,000 players out there who have hit this freaking portal that are not going to find a home, and they're going to lose the home they was at. And now where they going to end up? They're going to have to go somewhere, and if they want to further their education, they're going to have to pay for it themselves, especially if they miss this first window right here because of the fact that school's about to start. If you don't have a destination right now and school's about to start in about a week or two, what are they going to do? They're going to have to wait till the next semester or quarter in order to get on the roster and hope that somebody picks them up, which we already know about 2,000 of them are not going to find a home at all. So they got to get something fixed about this thing, man, because it's out of control.
Yeah, it's Postgame brought up a point about you used to bring in a kid and develop him. And, you know, everybody thinks that, and it's true to an extent, you know, your two big power conferences pretty much run everything. Notre Dame's involved and they have a say in stuff as well. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, the SEC and the Big Ten are the two commissioners that pretty much hold the power. As far as conferences go, we'll just leave it like that. But believe it or not, the not younger, but lower level coaches are probably more pissed off than the higher level coaches because they're the ones getting the kids that didn't get recruited and putting them on a strength program and developing them. And then they're going on to Ole Miss and playing quarterback in the national semifinals. You know, so a school in Division II, and I'll just use, you know, Tarleton State out of Texas, that develops kids for 2 years. They go to their version, their playoffs. They may win a national title in Division II or whatever. And now that whole team's gutted because Division I's are just A&M's, Texas's, Notre Dame's are just plucking them. And now these coaches got to every 2 years rebuild. And then they got to go to their administrators and say, sorry, we went 0-10 this year. All of our, but A&M, who took 7 of our players, won the national title, you know? And that's what Indiana did. They brought James Madison kids in and, you know, to buy time till he could get his recruiting going there. Something's got to give, and I just don't know what the answer is.
Well, you know who can really benefit from the fact that you got so many guys hitting the portal? Teams like Wisconsin can really benefit because if they're getting that $22.8 million, you could tell a guy, listen, like Nick Brooks, for instance, who did not play, who's looking like he's not going to be able to play in 2026 at Texas, hits the portal. If I'm Wisconsin and I want a top-rated offensive lineman who was highly recruited out of high school, I would be calling Nick Brooks and saying, listen, I can offer you this and you're going to get playing time right now. They can take advantage of this if they so choose to, if they're willing to spend the money to do so to get back up in the top of the Big Ten. There's several schools out there that are like that. Now, you got some other schools who they're going to have to take whatever's left or whatever meat is left on the bone, your Syracuse, your schools like that. But Wisconsin and Nebraska, places like that, they have a chance to make a really nice come up on some of these players who are leaving schools like Texas, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Ohio State. You can take advantage of some of those players if you're willing to pay them a little bit of money. Let's talk a little bit about Mike Tomlin and the fact that he decided to leave the coaching ranks of at Pittsburgh. What's your thoughts on Mike Tomlin stepping away from coaching uh, after a historic 19 season run?
Yeah.
Salute to Mike T, man. Mike Tomlin, man. How many coaches can say they coached 19 straight without a losing season? That's magnificent. That's like elite. And I know he didn't, win a playoff game in forever. I know he only went to two Super Bowls, but man, how many coaches can say they went 19 straight and didn't have a losing season? I believe things like that should be saluted. Yes, I know Pittsburgh fans wanted more championships, wanted more playoff wins. I get it. And I want those things as well. But again, I say, how many coaches can say they went 19 straight without a losing season? Like, if he wants, he may take some time off. But if he wants, he have a job like that. Somebody's going to hire Mike Tomlin, especially one of these teams that are rebuilding. But I mean, great career, great stint with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We all know they don't fire their coaches. Mike T's been there since I was probably a freshman, eighth grade, something like that. So salute to him, man. He did a heck of a job, and if he wants to coach, he'll find a job.
Um, it's insane. Um, I can't think of who the next longest streak of non-losing seasons would be. Um, I'd have to go back to probably somebody like a Bill Walsh or something like that when he was with San Fran. But even then, I mean, it wasn't close to 19, So, um, great run, great career. Never was a Steelers fan, so don't really keep up with Mike Tomlin too much. No, he was a hell of a coach. No, he knew how to win. He played football to me the right way. He loved defense and running the football first. Um, will he come back and coach? I don't think so. I think that 19-year season, he's not going to want to go to a rebuild because then he'll have probably a losing season. I think that record means something to him. And I really think he may just maybe, okay, the Bengals comes open. Well, maybe he would take that or something, because it's a team that should have a winning record. So I think if it's the right job for him, but I think he wants that record to stay intact because I honestly tell you, I don't know that record would ever be touched. I mean, and you say that about numerous sports and then it gets broken. I don't know about something like that in the NFL. that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, kudos to Mike Tomlin for having 19 straight winning seasons. I mean, we all, I believe, admire the job that he's done over those 19 years. I would like to see him ride off into the sunset. Maybe go and be an analyst somewhere in the college ranks, maybe. I don't want to see him on the sideline having to do what he's done the last 19 years. I would like to see him maybe be an analyst or something like that at somebody's college, just helping out the coaching staff there. I don't want anybody to even try to draw him back into the coaching ranks. I would like to just see him ride off into the sunset. Like I said, the most he probably should do is maybe be an analyst. I wouldn't even mind him being a commentator, but I don't want to see him like we see our man post game with the headset on, patrolling the sidelines anymore. I just don't want to see him do that anymore. I think he should go ahead and ride off into the sunset and live a good life the rest of his days, man, with his family, friends, and close loved ones. But kudos
Well,
to him for the 19 years, though.
I'm waiting to see if one of these colleges that don't general manager makes him a call as their talent scout.
Do you guys think he would sit out a year and then go coach in college? Because I know some head coaches look down at that. I remember when Tony Dungy left the coach and he thought it was an insult for somebody to ask him to go coach a college team. But can y'all see Mike T going to the college ranks?
I think if he's going college, he would go small college, Division II, more because he sees what's going on in college football right now, and it's pretty much the NFL. And I don't know, and in Division II they have that kind of stuff too. But I think he would look at Division II as more of helping to build players to move on. Almost like that for the love of the game type story. These kids are playing for a way to get up somewhere. So I think he would take that kind of job as more of a coach / mentor to what it takes to get to the league for these kids.
So let me. So you tell him, and I don't think that's a bad thought, but let's just say Winningham wins 2 games at Michigan this season, and they fire him immediately. You don't think Michigan would give Mike Tomlin a call?
Oh, I think they'd give him a call. And I'm not saying he would say no to it. I'm saying it would have to be the right job for him to say yes. But I think if somebody called him from, and I'll just throw out there because it's the same one I used a minute ago, Tarleton State, said, hey, we could use a head coach with your experience and knowledge, and we got kids who just love to play ball out here. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, there's a brand new football program been open a couple of years in Texas, UT Rio Grande, I think. Somebody like that to start a program in college from the ground up, pretty much. I mean, they've been open for a couple of years, but they're not doing anything. Go build a program the way you want and get these young kids, show them what it takes to get up there. I could see that. But I mean, if Michigan, Notre Dame called, Ohio State, he's going to take the phone call for sure.
I mean, I definitely believe that he's going to be getting calls like crazy. His agent's probably already gotten a million calls already. I think he should definitely at least take at least a year off and just reflect on it, see if this is something that he wants to do ever again. I would love to see him in the college ranks. I really would. I would love to see him go somewhere and help rebuild a program. I don't know what Tomlin's background is, where he went to college at, where he may have coached at before he went to the Steelers. I don't know any of that information, but I'm quite sure that whatever that channel is, I'm quite sure he got some people that are probably in his ear, in his agent's ear, in a family member's ear, saying, "Listen, do you think Mike would entertain this or that? To come back home and coach here, or to help us out as an analyst and possibly one day become a coach." Because I mean, I thought for sure Gary Patterson would be back coaching, but he has not returned to the coaching ranks.
Well,
So I can
Rob.
see. Go ahead, Post.
No, I was gonna say, Mike Tomlin is from the Tony Dungy tree of coaching. I believe he was the Vikings D coordinator before he became the Steelers coach. Go ahead, my man.
Yeah, so I'm quite sure that nobody is going to allow a guy who has coached for 19 years and had an historic run of 19 winning seasons. They're not going to leave a guy like that alone, man. Especially the way we know how the NFL recycle coaches, man. Somebody's going to be calling him. They're already calling him. But I would like to see him at least take 1 year off, chill out, be with his family, maybe come on and do some spot commentating here and there, do a couple of interviews, and then decide what he wants to do after that year is up and see what's out there for him. But I'm quite sure he's going to be getting calls from now until, maybe 5 or 6 years from now if he decides he's not coming back. Because I'm quite sure guys are going to always want to see if he's going to entertain the thought of coming back to coach.
He coached at a few different colleges, Virginia Military Institute, Memphis, stuff like that. Bounced around to some colleges at University of Cincinnati for a while, and then Tony Dungy, took him down to Tampa as the DB coach and taught him the Tampa 2 defense. And then the rest is history from there.
Yeah, Mossberg, we know you're not at work tonight. Where you at, man? You're not at work. Stop playing.
Mossberg on the phone with Tomlin's agent trying to set him up for conversations with Mossberg. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, they might be doing some City League TV stuff tonight. They probably at one of those games.
That's
doing
right.
some games, yeah. The last question I got on the slate, man, and we could talk about anything else after we go through this last question. There are 7 head coaching vacancies in the NFL: Browns, Falcons, Giants, Raiders, Ravens, Steelers, and Titans. Which team is the best situation for the next coach?
I mean, I think that's pretty easy. I mean, I think we should eliminate the Ravens and Steelers because I think those are the 2 easiest choices for this. They're the 2 best rosters. I mean, pretty much. So if I eliminate those, I'm going to shock everybody and say, if I'm going to be a head coach somewhere, I'm looking at the Giants. I like that quarterback. I like Jackson Dart. I don't want to touch Cleveland. Plus, I'm a Bengals fan, so that just doesn't set right with me. The Raiders are a travesty program now. Falcons are pretty good, but I like Jackson Dart, and I'm gonna stay away from your Titans because I know that's who you're gonna select. But I like Jackson Dart. I just think Jackson Dart is going to be a star in this league.
Yeah, I was going to say the Giants as well. I like Jackson Dart, and I cannot wait to see him with a healthy Malik Neighbors. So that's a very intriguing job. If I'm a veteran coach and I'm trying to win, I would pick Baltimore. But if I'm a young coach, let's just say I'm an offensive minded young coach getting my first job, I would want to mold my offense around Dart and Neighbors. Scatterbo, he'll be back healthy. They got some good pass rushers in New York, so you got a little something to build upon. So I would say the Giants if we excluding the Ravens and the Steelers for sure. I like Atlanta, but that they quarterback situation is a little bit shaky. I would love to have Drizzy Drake and B. John Robinson, but that quarterback situation is shaky at best.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth post game because I was picking Atlanta, but man, that quarterback situation is super, super shaky, man. And they're going to have to draft a quarterback. If they don't do it this next season, if they don't find somebody they like, they're going to have to put themselves in position to get a quarterback the following season because they definitely can't go with Kirk Cousins the rest of the way. And I know they're hoping that his contract ends. I think it ends after next season. And then they can't rely on Michael Penix, man. Michael Penix, I thought was going to be a really good NFL quarterback. He just cannot stay healthy, man. And you just can't afford to have a guy leading your team who's about to come up on his second a second contract, which you know you're going to have to give him money because he's a quarterback. I don't. I think they need to part ways with him and go ahead and get them a quarterback in the draft somehow. But I would definitely pick the Falcons if I had to pick one of those teams because I think they got a lot of pieces defensively. They got some good pieces offensively. They just need a quarterback. I definitely wasn't picking them Titans though, SEC Sean, because man, I like Cam Ward, and I like a few pieces they got defensively, and I like Pollard, but they got a lot of work to do, man. They got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do.
Well, you gotta, if you're a head coach, you also have to look at it. Look at what divisions you're going into. 3 of them are the NFC North. Ravens, Steelers, really good teams. If the Bengals stay healthy, they're good. We have a feeling they're going to be good if they stay healthy, with that core of offense, if they can fix their defense. And the Browns. So if you take the Browns job, you got a pretty tough row to hoe there. The Falcons, okay, Tampa Bay was down a little bit this year, but Carolina seemed to put something together. So that's not a slam dunk division. The Giants, you got the Eagles, the Cowboys, who God knows what they're going to do from year to year, and a pretty young and up and coming Redskins with, a healthy Jaden Daniels. Could be, they proved what they could do when he was healthy all year. The Raiders, and you're stuck in the AFC West, bro. That's the home of Denver, Kansas City, San Diego. I mean, come on, man. And then the Titans, you're stuck in there with Houston and Indy and Jacksonville. Those are not easy places to settle in any of them. That's why I would think the Ravens and Steelers would be the easiest solution to me because they're the best teams on rosters on this list.
Yeah. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get out of here? We right past 1 hour. Really, really good show, man. A lot of really good topics. We'll be back again on Thursday at 7:45. Well, we won't preview the games, but we'll talk a little bit about those games. Saturday morning will be when we do our preview on them. But anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap up?
I'm muted again. I threw a link in the comments. I don't know if it works or not, but it's the same link that's on my YouTube page for that video for the NASCAR. So y'all can go check out the sound and see what it looks like. I don't know if it works or not. I put it up there. I don't know if it'll be clickable or not, but if not, if you go to my YouTube page, it's under my posts. It's not under videos. It's just under posts, and it's a link, and you can click it. I've gotten all the verification done, so I can post links now in there. Other than that, not a lot going on. I'm going to go try to catch the end of this basketball game. See if we can pull off the upset tonight. And then go watch some, call it the Chili Bowl. It's little bitty sprint midget cars racing in Tulsa, Oklahoma on dirt. Yeah, watch a little bit of that. Other than that, we definitely got to start getting cranked into some college basketball, especially since my Aggies are actually doing pretty good this year.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's crazy how fast the college football season flew by. It just seems like yesterday we were excited for Ohio State and Texas. And then it's like national championship.
Yeah.
But
You want to know what's
I
even
would
crazier?
say, what's that?
We 2 months from March Madness.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
What?
Yeah, like that, man. But you know what's crazy? I would say, I would say that in the game of college football, none of our teams really had a bad season. None of our teams won a championship. Well, none of them had a bad, with the exception of Mossberg. But I would say all of our teams had a pretty good season.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, I think it was. I think mine was the most shocking of all the seasons. Um, I didn't have us going 11-2, so I think ours was the most. Whoa, okay, what's going on down there? I think Florida State's was the biggest. What happened there? And Texas at the beginning of the season was what's going on. Same with Notre Dame at the beginning of the season. What's going on here? So, but I think all teams had a good run. I don't see any issue. Like you said, Mossberg I'm sure would have liked a lot more out of his Florida State team, but it was a good season.
He's going to be wearing Notre Dame gear next year, just like he dropped Kentucky in basketball and picked up BYU. He's going to drop Florida State and pick up Notre Dame.
Man, have y'all seen this
Yeah.
team, Miami of Ohio?
Basketball?
Yes.
Miami of Ohio balling this year. I
17-0.
sure haven't keep getting.
17-0.
I've been watching that. I've been keeping my eye on that Pac-12 and that SEC, man. They got some squads.
SEC's down this year from last year.
The SEC got some freaks of nature.
Yeah, there are. Florida's got some dude.
Yeah.
Florida's got the tri-towers. They don't even need the twin towers like Houston used to have back in the day. They got the tri-towers down. And then they got that one dude, what is he, 7'9" or something?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Like,
a 7'9" guy?
Dude, it's like Sean Bradley.
Yeah. I think I sent the picture and somebody sent the picture in the chat. But
Well, they got. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, brother. You got it. I thought you were done.
No, I was just gonna say, man, I got Zona being the best team, and obviously they won. But the reason why I like Arizona so much this year is that they so battle tested. They beaten a slew of ranked teams already, and that Pac-12 is violent.
Yeah, when you ever get to watch Florida play, Rob, wait till the end of the game and watch the handshake line. They got like Alex Condon and Tyler Hawk, who are both like 7 foot, 7'1", and this dude is like you don't even see his head when they show them. You just see his like shoulders. It's insane, dude. It is crazy.
I'm going to get a chance to start watching some college basketball once Monday is over with, and I'll be able to shift my schedule a little bit to start to watch a little bit more basketball so I can get up on it because I haven't watched. I mean, if I've watched 10 minutes of a game, that would be a lot because I haven't been watching any basketball at all.
You better tune in Saturday.
Yeah. I normally would have watched
Texas.
Oh, okay. I normally would have watched Texas by now or Illinois by now, but I haven't watched either one of them. I don't know what either one of them look like.
I think it's this Saturday. Let me double check. Click the stupid button. What is going on here? Yep, Texas A&M at Texas, 6 p.m.
That's Saturday? I ain't going to be able to watch it. I got an outing that day.
Nope, I'm going to be watching that.
Yeah. Well, I can always text you to get a play-by-play.
Yeah, it's right now we're 57-55. Tennessee's up on us at Tennessee.
Yeah, well, Tennessee slaughtered us, but then we went to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama, so that was kind of refreshing.
That's the first lead Tennessee's had in the whole game.
Oh. All right, y'all. We all enjoy the rest of y'all's evening, man. I'm going to get on up out of here, man, and finish up my evening. Yep. And then I'll talk to y'all soon. I don't know if anybody's going to do anything tomorrow, but we'll definitely be back on Thursday at 7:45. So if you're out there tuning in, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, share our videos, and continue to support us. And we will see you again soon. So hit that notification bell so you'll know when we're going live. All right, Post. All right, SEC Sean. I'll see you.
Peace, brothers.
All right, peace.